Hello, readers, and thank you for joining me for a reading lesson. Today, really reading comprehension, I want to spend a little bit of time going over text structure. Now, text structure is super, super important. If you can look at a text and figure out the text structure, then it makes it a lot easier to figure out what the author is trying to tell you or show you or teach you. And we're going to spend some time today, now hopefully this video won't be too long, looking at all 5 types of text structure. And there are 5 types: description, problem solution, compare and contrast, cause and effect, and sequence. Now, as I say, this is important for helping us comprehend and remember what we read, but as a writer, you might find yourself writing in these structures as well, depending on what the question is asking you to do. So make sure you pay attention, figure out the differences in them, and I think it's going to help you understand better what you're reading, probably even help you on some of your tests that you have to do at school. So let's get started so this video won't be too long. The first one we're going to look at is description. Now, in a description text, the text tells us about something by describing its features or giving examples. Now, big warning here, most authors are going to use descriptive words in anything they write because it makes it more enjoyable to read. So don't get fooled by those. You have to see what it's telling you about. So if you're reading a descriptive text or a description text, you're going to look for certain signal words. These are the clues that let you know it's a descriptive text. You might see words like such as, most important, notable, specifically, for instance, features, characteristics, appears to be made of, consist of, looks like, for example, in addition, also. Those are all words they might use to describe something. When you're reading a descriptive text, ask yourself these questions. What specific person, place, thing, or idea is being described? How are they describing it or telling about it? So I have a little short article here. It says chickens are fascinating creatures on the farm, with feathers in a variety of colors like red, yellow, brown, white, making the barnyard a colorful place to be. They spend their days scratching and pecking at the ground, searching for tasty treats hidden beneath the soil, all while their bright eyes watch everything around them with curiosity. Their gentle clucking fills the air, adding a soothing soundtrack to the bustling activity of farm life. So, what's being described? Chickens, right? And you can find how they're describing them. They talk about what they look like, what they do, how they affect the farm. So we would read this and figure out that chickens are being described for us. Next, we have problem solution. In a problem solution text, the text tells about a problem and one or more solutions. Oftentimes when you're reading a problem solution, there might be multiple solutions, multiple ways they tried to solve it, but they might not all work. So we're going to see some signal words like problem, answer, so that, solution, solved, led to, dilemma, which is another word for problem, issue, since, advantage, because, as a result, disadvantage, question, in order to. So when you're reading these texts, once you figure out its problem solution, ask yourself, what's the problem? And what's the solution? So again, I have another short problem solution text. The school playground is often muddy and messy after it rains, making it difficult for students to play safely and enjoy recess. To solve this problem, we can build a covered outdoor area with a soft surface, like rubber or artificial turf, where students can play even when it's raining. This will provide a dry and safe place for students to enjoy recess regardless of the weather. Now, what is the problem? The playground gets messy and muddy when it rains. And were there any solutions? They were. They talked about building a covered area, changing the surface, maybe not have dirt, but maybe have rubber or artificial turf. And those things might make it safer for students. So that would be a problem solution. Next, we have compare and contrast. In a compare and contrast, these texts tell how two or more things are the same or different. And of course, we say with our class, when you're saying how they're the same, you compare. When you say how they're different, that's the contrast. And we look for those signal words. Both, that'd be a compare word. Similarity, either or. Opposite, different from, on the contrary, just as, compared to. On the other hand, however, in contrast, but, as opposed to, in comparison, alike, same as, unlike. And you can see how those words talk about how things are similar or different. So when you figure out it's a compare and contrast, ask yourself these questions. What is being compared? How are they alike and different? So again, another short piece. Mountains and beaches are both natural landscapes, but they offer different experiences. They've already told us there's going to be some similarities and differences. Mountains are tall and rocky with steep slopes and often snow-capped peaks, while beaches are flat expanses of sand that meet the ocean. Mountains are great for hiking and skiing, offering breathtaking views from high altitudes, while beaches are perfect for swimming, sunbathing, and building sandcastles. Despite these differences, both mountains and beaches provide opportunities for outdoor recreation and relaxation, attracting visitors from all over the world. So, what's being compared? Mountains, beaches. And oftentimes the author will tell us that first. And then, of course, you can find the ways they're the same and different. Fourth, cause and effect. Now, a cause and effect text explains why or how something happened. Our signal words, because, leads to, on account of, so, as a result, consequently, outcome, therefore. You might see a when or an if-then statement. Effects of, reasons for, since, thus, influenced by, in order to, due to, caused by, or for this reason. So when you notice a cause and effect text is what you're reading, ask yourself, what happened? And why did it happen? So again, a sample text. When the sun shines brightly, the plants grow tall and strong. The warmth and light from the sun provide the energy the plants need to make food, causing them to thrive and flourish. As a result, the garden becomes a vibrant and lush oasis of greenery, attracting birds, bees, and butterflies to its blossoms. Now, lots of cause and effect in that little short text. We see that plants grow tall and strong. That happened. Why? Because the sun shines brightly. We see that plants make food. Why? Because the sun gave energy to them. And so it goes through all of these things. Cause and effect. If you can find those, it helps you understand what's happening. And last is sequence. Now, most fiction stories are written in a sequential thing because they're telling a story in order. Sometimes this is called chronological order. In a sequence, the text tells about an event in the order it happened or lists steps telling how to do something. So a sequence text could be like a narrative, a story, but it could also be a how-to, like how to make a sandwich. That would be done in a sequence format. So signal words, first, second, third. You might see directions. As soon as, then, before, prior to, next, now, last, after, following, initially, at the same time, finally, during, or simultaneously. When you find out that you're reading a sequence text or a text written with a sequence text structure, you're going to ask yourself what happened first, next, what happened last. You may have had a teacher tell you what happened at the beginning, middle, and end of a story. That's sequence. If it's doing directions, you might say, what are the steps or directions to follow to make or do something? So we see another story here. Sarah woke up on a sunny morning and decided she wanted to bake cookies. First, she gathered all the ingredients from the pantry: flour, sugar, eggs, and chocolate chips. Next, she preheated the oven and lined a baking sheet with parchment paper. Then, she mixed the ingredients together in a large bowl, forming a sticky dough. After that, she scooped spoonfuls of dough onto the baking sheet, spacing them out evenly. Finally, she popped the tray into the oven and waited eagerly for the cookies to bake. And you can see all those signal words. You see the word first, next, then, after that, finally. So it's easy to figure out what structure is being used and to figure out the order of how those things happened. Now, all we can do is wait and hope she made enough to share with us. I don't know. But that's all 5 text structures. Thanks for sticking around to the end. I hope this helps clear up some misunderstandings of these, and I hope this helps you be able to understand and comprehend your text a little bit better. Now, happy reading, and let's go find those cookies.